out in timeouts. Stuff like this in the pregame. Coach saying his final words, fist bumps on land going across the board for both sides. That means we are getting ready to head into Nuke here. It's a must-win map for Isurus. For MIBR, they still have another chance at it as well. But when it comes down to it, MIBR have full advantage here. They've won the first set of 3, Nate. And it's almost like they already have advantage coming into set 2.
Yes, it is. Looking at the investments here, dually Super Soldier again, this time for Deco. I think it was the same on Overpass as well for their CT side. 2 sets of utility on the T side. Henny, smoke Molotov, exit, flash, Molotov. And it is going to be, it looks like a bit of a fake over towards A with an actual trophy stack coming in from Made in Brazil. Luchov, one spotting here, moving around. Will he find the opening? He spots them jumping out, caught in the jump. He'll just fall away instead, and Brendan's going to run him down. He's trying to find the opening, and Luchov has no choice but to fight. He will find a conciliatory kill, but only one. JOTA with the trade. Now the dually Super Soldier has to come in. He's towards control. He does a dance with his opponent, Brendan, but he does not get the kill. Brendan, now at this point, kind of just selling a fake over towards B. Everybody's gone the other direction, and he's doing so much damage. 2 more before he gets taken down by Myron, and that is a big pair to find now in an open A site for the plant. Myron and Noxy have to pull it back from the brig. Noxy swinging in a good start with 1, but not the second. JOTA on the USP finds the trade, and so it leaves Myron. He found that first down below. He has to find the 2 above now, and Henny and JOTA spread out, get ready. Don't want to let him get this one.
Don't see the kit in the vicinity, which is a problem. Bomb's already ticked about halfway through. Myron's going to drive by it. And he's running around the silo, spots the first player back Tetris, taps it, headshot of the JOTA. Taps again, but there is no time. Henny knows it. He's just creeping around. And he gets the kill for good measure. So, pistol round goes the way of MIBR. Already they got the bomb down, so they were in a good spot moving forward regardless of whether or not they won the round. But already winning that T-pistol round makes it even better for them on their T side. Nuke! But the 4 spy is going to be here from Isurus. Deagles, Scout, 5-7s. What is the pick from Luchov? Another Deeg. Can these Argentine Deagles turn the tide and bring it back to a one-on-one? Give MIBR a bit of a taste of their own medicine going back to Overpass.
You've seen a lot of success from those Deagles, but and cannot rely on them, and you never will be able to rely on them. I think the investment from Made in Brazil is rather conservative. 3 rifles. They want to keep those in to make sure the bonus round is quite formidable, and that's a bit of a lucky start there for Henny. Nice spam through the smoke. Turtle and Exit also looking keen to harvest some cash on those Mac 10s. Isurus, they lose this round, they're going to be on the save, so they want to at least do some damage here. If they can't, it really will be a defeat. And Made in Brazil looking much more confident and much more focused on the T side of Nuke as opposed to the T side of Overpass.
This is their map, though, isn't it? I mean, they have a solid T-half on this map. They're not going to be looking to put up too many rounds, but I mean, 53% win rate is more than enough. So, it's going to be something where they're going to look for 7, probably 8, given their opponent in the situation. And winning the pistol already just sets them up for more success. Luchov getting a little hungry. Might get eaten, though. Has to fall away. Deco takes some shots down range. Another smoke to ward off Squeaky Push. But overall, MIBR are just content to bide their time, and rightfully so. They have every advantage they could want, and they don't want to funnel into the pistols, which is something Isurus did on a very similar round back in round 2 of Overpass. Noxy chased away, MIBR moving around there. I think they're going to wait for JOTA's lurk outer yard to work out, but the time, Nate, 1 kill can end this round.
Could start a spiral and unraveling. Mustang, there's the spot, but Luchov gets the one. Dig a solid start. A second player tagged down as well. Deco on site. He found 2 with the Deagle. A third for Deco on the back of site, and he unravels it completely. We said it could indeed spell disaster, and it does. Henny now trying to save the AK. Might even get hunted down. No, he will be allowed to survive, but what a round for Isurus to steal. The Sharks playing their own game. Very well done from them. And that is a round you should not expect to happen again. Made in Brazil letting the time get away from them and facing the consequences as a result.
Timeout used already by MIBR, and rightfully so, because that is a round they could not afford to lose. They were waiting for aggression from Isurus, which did not come, and an early advantage they could have built up has gone by the wayside. Now it is their turn to try and stabilize things. They don't want to let things get out of control early. For Isurus, though, that's some life. That's a shot in the arm. That's something that can really get them going. It's early, very early, yes. But it's a very good sign for them in a map which they cannot afford to lose.
It's a very big boon. And you could tell Made in Brazil's play, the waiting game, nearly paid off. We had a player getting antsy in towards the HUD. I believe it was Luchov, if I'm not mistaken, with that deagle. And he just bided his time, bit his tongue, just fell back. That was the right call, obviously. It has spiraled now into a victory, into an upset victory, might I add. And now this guy Noxie's looking to take down the pistol up towards top Marshmallow. Made in Brazil greatly disadvantaged here. Their money's kind of all over the place. They're forced to invest because Henny saved the AK. Although I'm sure they would have gone for the investment regardless. Isurus, a massive advantage with 3 rifles, an MP9, and a scout. Noxie on the scout. You see, again, struggling with those scoped weapons, but still plenty of time to wake up here on this second map. Made in Brazil, no major inroads to be spoken of as of yet.
Flash for Luchov, going hunting, strikes down one, backs away. That's you've got to get out of there safely, Luchov. You can't take that damage. He's going to go reaggress. Henny is down very low, but is it really worth that kind of a fight? A one-for-one trade is not what your team needs, especially on the CT side. You need to build up economy. You've already got your pick. You don't need to overextend. You don't need to give anything to Isurus or to MIBR. If you are Isurus, you should be making sure you minimize your casualties. That's a nice kill from Noxie. But he does take quite a bit of damage en route to that duel. Repositioning around. Tagman Bagum set up. It's the shot. Never mind. No, it's going to be Luchov to get the kill from up top. Exit getting sprayed down, but not going to go down. Low HP players, the last two, they have an idea, and they have the read, and they have the kill. Another one comes through. No way they pull this one off. There's no possible way they could win this round, surely. I mean, it's possible. It should not be realistic.
Combined 18 HP versus 200.
10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds left. Henny was counting as a lucky star that even survived that initial duel. Look at the plant down.
No.
This is on the duel plan. Exit finds one. It's Myron in the 1 versus 2. Sure, the players are low, but the combined fire of Made in Brazil, the 2 players, might be enough to get it done. They're in so many different angles that it could be doable. Molotov will force Henny away. He can't spare even a tick from the flames. And Myron, does he hear the rotation outside? It doesn't seem like it. He's still worried about that lobby flank, and that's not where it's coming from. Now the MP9 on site, and the flank exit finds it. There's no way these players steal it away. It was a 2v4 with a combined total of 18 HP, and they find the victory. There's no world where that should happen.
No, that should not be around ever seen at this level of Counter-Strike. But somehow, some way, Henny and Exit are able to find a way to win it. They got gifted some kills from Isurus. Granted, that kill from Exit, that takes down, I believe it was Luchov with the M4 over towards ramp. Massive. But then the follow-up. That's where things really start to go wrong. And now it's event dive. Exits down his pistols for Isurus. Deco pushing in through lobby with a Mag 7. Luchov removed from the round. Myron, one of the 5.7, can actually upgrade to an AK. Gets stuck in no man's land, and he can grab the AK. He doesn't swap to it, though. Gets dropped. Deco's 5.7, or Mag 7 is going to be removed, and JOTA, one more kill. Reversive, or Noxie, rather, is the last one standing, and the last one gone. And looks like it's business as usual for MIBR now. They had a bit of a hiccup there, but they're not going to be too concerned with it at all, Nate. They're going to get back on the board. They're going to keep on stringing rounds together. It's going to be a save up from Isurus. And a timeout used probably would have been better served after the last round than now.
I would say after this round. That was a scrappy start, sure. Either A, use it to get that last round out of your head after what was a very tight loss that should not have happened, or B, use it after this one when we have the rifle round proper. And I would say probably after this one would probably be the better call of the two. But not the best of starts here. Scrappy start, you know, less than ideal for both teams, but in the end it is Made in Brazil who emerge with the advantage, the team that stabilizes first, and so they have 3-1 and very likely 4-1 here, as Isurus really can't afford to invest anything. Maybe a P250, maybe a nade or two, but it should be a Made in Brazil round through and through. In fact, Henny might even harvest a bit of cash here on that Mac 10.
I like the idea. Get your opper a bit more bank. I will see how many ops he wants to buy on the T side of Nuke. It's not exactly the best map for it. Nice little hops there from JOTA to get on top of Marshmallow very quickly. He's just going to drop on down. Henny clearing all of ramp room. It's an ace stack from Isurus, and surely Henny will clear that out momentarily. He might have heard Deco drop as well. JOTA running outside. Might have the answer. There's Henny to finish off deco. A little bit of cash built up for him. The lobby crunch comes in, and Turtle actually drops the bomb. That's a problem. Despite them having USPs, this is technically winnable here. As the second player goes down, Myron hits the deck, but there's still more guns. It's all down to Noxie now, and he will find nothing. So MIBR able to stabilize, but way too scary, way too close for comfort. That is a round that should not be happening again for MIBR, as they almost toss their lead right back to Isurus. It almost seems like neither team wants to have the lead in the scenario.
Yep. Thus far, even after they stabilized, even after they went 2 in a row, it's still scrappy, still less than ideal, still unexpected. Granted, that kind of lobby play through the door can't be expected by Made in Brazil, but you have to expect the unexpected when you're against just USPs. There's nothing to lose in a round like that. Either way, we are on to the rifle rounds at long last. It is full rifles for both teams, a Galil for Brendan and an M4 for JOTA, versus full M4s for Isurus, and deco does find the opening. I believe that was the vent drop being dismantled. Turtle out of the round immediately, and that is a solid start for Isurus, but still, Made in Brazil could most assuredly come back here. It is their map pick after all.
It is their map pick. They should be able to win it with relative ease, considering the records of both these two teams on this map. Isurus gave us a little bit of hope with that early round, and deco will give us a little more hope with that nade kill to make it a 5-on-3. But MIBR, you can't count them out of a round, as evidenced by that very low HP Henny exit clutch. So, JOTA down towards B, in towards single door. Might even open it. Exit could get one onto reversive.
Spam.
Just pretty slow.
Tickling his toes. Yeah, they are playing quite slow. Time might get away from them once more. Deco furthers the advantage now. Henny trying to spam, gives away his positioning, and reversive wins the duel versus exit, and that's the round unraveling. And this will be a big round for Isurus to win, not only because it's a rifle round victory, but also because it's a flawless victory. Henny, 1 versus 5. He should go down here. He should not try to save, but wrong down where it is, he might have a chance to kind of plant if he can dismantle these two, but no, the crosshair is not placed properly. Luchov wins the duel, and that is a clean one for Isurus, an important one as well for them to get back into it.
It's a very important one for them to get back into it, but they need to string some more rounds together. They need to be able to get some stuff on the CT side. Their T side, lackluster. So, much as MIBR needed a lot of rounds on their T side, and Isurus will need a lot as well. And they can't really afford to rely too heavily on that T side. They have the gift of starting on defense, which means they have to stack up what they can now. They have to prepare for winter. And it's an op for Henny already coming out. A slower round from MIBR to kick it off. Moving around the outer yard. A little bit of lobby control. But overall, just a pretty standard nuke default, outside heavy nuke default. Deco spraying away in that smoke. Doesn't know if there's anybody crossed. And now Noxie will go down the vents. But MIBR more than content to work around, play the clock, and look for a pick.
This is where they should shine. This is where Isurus should get antsy. This is what divides the okay teams from the really good ones. Mid-round calls. Minute 5 and Noxie. Like the idea, like the tenacity to go for that peak, but he doesn't get the kill. And while he does have information, I don't know how well Isurus can adjust off of that. JOTA starting this outside wrap, and this is a good read from Isurus. They're swinging out around it. They find the opening onto Turtle. JOTA is still lurking. He's still pressuring forward in spite of that loss. And he might go unchecked here as a result. Deco, though, drops exit. So JOTA needs to be more timely on this flank. He needs to find more. And Luchov is looking for it. Luchov, will he clear the corner? No. That's 1 for JOTA in response, and maybe a second towards the ramp, but the player's tucked in the corner. Noxie. This is an unorthodox one. Yep, there we go. Unchecked. It doesn't matter. He misses the spray. That's one you can't be missing, Noxie. JOTA finds a second, and Brendan now cuts off the rotation. He'll find one. A trade is okay, all things considered, but still less than ideal. 20 seconds left, and Echo on the HP back behind the vents here. Has to hold it down. Where is the bomb? It is on the ops back. Henny has to clear out the player behind vents. 10 seconds left, and in fact, there's a rotation as well. Perfectly read by Isurus, and Made in Brazil let the time get away from them yet again. The op is taken down. JOTA, far removed, can't do anything, and so it is Isurus to steal away the round. Made in Brazil, though, do make it costly.
It is costly, but I think at this point, Isurus don't really care. They're finally getting some momentum. They're cracking a smile there, Noxie. It's good to see despite the situation. He is the op, the IGL for this squad. So he's got a lot on his shoulders. Tactical timeout used by MIBR again as well. Interesting decision to call this pause. Things are not necessarily going terrible for him. I think that's more or less just, why are we putting ourselves in bad situations conversation with the coach. Because MIBR are kind of beating themselves in a lot of situations where they should be having much more advantageous spots. I think that they need to settle down a little bit more here and not worry about getting a pick so much as they should be worried about managing their clock.
Managing their clock, and that's kind of the important factor. I think that's why they called the timeout. They called the first timeout when they didn't manage the clock. They did it again, just a couple rounds later. I think that's a worrying prospect, a lingering issue that needs to be rectified ASAP, and they couldn't do it with one tactical pause. Might as well take a second, talk it out again, and go from there. Maybe they have some sort of quirky strategy as well in mind for JOTA with that hero rifle. We'll have to see what the play is at hand, but it is just business as usual for Isurus. Back to the default deco behind this vent. He's been a menace here thus far. A solid start for him on 7 kills. Tied for the top with Luchov, and that's a good spam to find. That's the hero rifle to find. It will be recoverable, sure, but these players don't have Kevlar, or at least most of them don't. Brinson does. He will be the next at bat with the rifle in hand, but Isurus, another advantage and another solid start for the CT side.
Noxie's op at a ramp. This is a very easy position to get kills from, but he goes a little too early or a little too late, depending on which one you want to go for. B hops around from Henny, but it's just the movement not going to work out for him. Luchov holding the line, making sure his operator doesn't get killed, and he will just pop out for one more. Rotate down the ramp as well as the J-Hall control comes through from Iron. Exit will fall as well. 4-on-4 now as the buy will come forward again from MIBR. No op from Henny, but a solid hold. There is the fist bump from Noxie. Of course, you do want to see him get a little more of those op shots, but these things take time. That was a nice one on to Henny, though, B-hopping around like a maniac. So at least he hits those, right?
Yeah, he's had a slow start. Also, I think it is nerves now. After that shot, normally most operators at this level, they don't go for that player jumping across. They know exactly what's happening. It is very much a telegraphed play. So the fact he misses that opportunity there and goes for the shot on the player jumping by does just tell me it's nerves here. It feels like it's just a bit of nerves for the Isurus squad, and I might not expect that, but it does appear to be the case here. Either way, in result, another rifle by at bat. Less than ideal, though. 2 Galils and lackluster utility. Brendan and Henny carrying those less than ideal weapons, and the utility is completely absent on JOTA. Only a smoke for Turtle, 2 flashes for Brendan, only 2 Molotovs to be spoken of, and 2 smokes as well, so I'm gonna have to be rather quick on this. Out the door they'll come. Timing. The joke point, though, Turtle's the one to pass the first check. Noxie on the site, though, has to come in big. He's found one. He needs at least a second. He spots the shoulder. Doesn't get the shot, though. Brendan gets the trade, and the player Heaven will catch the player out with the grenade down below, but JOTA and Henny answer in kind, and Exit finds the shot at range. Made in Brazil. It was a tenuous press out the door with no utility, but it pays off in a major way. They snatch away the lead once more, but Isurus do have another chance. Their economy has not been broken yet, but Made in Brazil, that might give them the confidence they need.
I think it will. They've got 5 already. And for Isurus, they have a bye again, but they're not really able to win confident rounds, which is a big problem. If you're on the CT side of Nuke, you should be able to win your rounds relatively smoothly. You shouldn't be struggling so hard. And MIBR have kind of given Isurus a few of these rounds as well. Been gifts over to the Isurus team. And not the Trojan horse kind of gift. Just a straight up, hey, have a round. Great flash there. Reversive blind to the back. Deco falls as well. Henny with the flashes. Turtle with the fragging. And MIBR with bomb down and 5-man hold on A. Noxie with a no-scope onto 1. That was just the dead body falling down the vents there. But I think it's going to be a save call from Isurus. I don't think they're going to really commit to this again, Nate. And it's going to be a 6-4 lead for MIBR moving forward. Isurus, it's timeout time again.
I would agree. Very well done for Made in Brazil, though. They add some utility to the play. They add a little bit of spice to the mix to go towards A, and it does really work out in this case as well. Flawless, clean entries. The op of Noxie enabled by the no-scope, might I add. I get activated in a very similar way during my matchmaking games. So hopefully that's a sign that he's beginning to wake up. That's the most important takeaway from this. He gets to keep the op, which again has had its moments both to shine and to suffer. Hopefully he can find more brilliant spots here going forward. And again, hopefully that pressure's kind of abating. Hopefully he's settling into his own here. I hope for sure that the rest of his team is as well. Isurus, No timeout, like we would have hoped. But they do have an investment, a less than ideal one. 2 M4s that off saved before. And now if a Moss around it, along with an MP9 for reversive, it leaves a lot wanting, but it is serviceable in the right situation.
Molotov goes into hut. Honestly, I'd almost rather have the MP9, depending on the positioning, than the FAMAS. Reversive's playing the right angle for it, too, around Tetris, top hut. But the hold needs to happen. Deco came up empty-handed last round, was a bit costly. He does find one while blind, but down he goes. Myron around. It's Noxty actually to be the guardian angel. Myron sprays down 2. It's down to JOTA. He can find nothing but death. Actually, no, he did find Lucha before the end. So that's actually good damage overall. Isurus, they will grab a 5th. And try and get something else out of this round. But already with 6 rounds, that might be in a good spot. Especially given the fact that Isurus' T side does struggle on this map. It's
a very solid start. Back and forth, I think, is the key takeaway. When oftentimes this map just goes by the wayside. It just goes towards the CTs with occasional T side rounds here and there. So this is a good start for MIBR Brazil regardless.
It's a very good start. And it could have been better. I think that's something they'll have to work on moving forward, whether it's tomorrow or tonight before the games tomorrow if they're able to win, or moving forward in their next tournaments. Either way, they will have to patch those holes. Henny does take some damage, and Turtle is down the fence. He's gone down silently. Deco can get back stabbed, though. He goes back and he wins that fight. Takes about half his damage, and he sprays away blindly. JOTA able to escape out of that duel. Deco will open up the double doors and just pop away. He's not going to go for that classic jump spot. Then he's going to go up and try and spam the smoke. There's a lot onto both JOTA and Burns, and you just back away through the glass and out into the cubby, down beneath the site. Isurus, though, have rotated quite heavily down to B. There's a hole to exploit towards A from MIBR. And because of their positioning, they can definitely find that angle. Henny is well lurking up towards A.
Need to slow things down, especially with this low HP. Touch and go. We have seen MIBR Brazil come back against all odds, quite literally. 18 HP on 2 players versus 4, and still making it work. So don't count them out, but it is improbable, and you can't rely on rounds such as these. It's going to be very difficult here. Moving up towards Decon is a pair. JOTA appears to be taking point, and the bomb is on the back of the other as well. So it does appear B's the name of the game here. Again, MIBR Brazil burning the midnight oil, and they line up. Deco finds one, tags the other. He is traded out by Brenzen. But can he make the cross to sight? That's the question. Noxie's post on the angle, as is Myron as an insurance policy. And Henny does drop Luchov in the meanwhile, but with 10 seconds left, they have to get that bomb down. There's no more dancing around it. Reversive drops Henny, but the bomb is down at long last. Brendan's falling away. Lucky to be alive. He actually sticks around for too long. He's taken down now. Exit has to do it all. He finds one. Noxie, though, quick on the trade, and the third player towards Decon is the one to defuse it. It is going to be a 6th for Isurus, but again, these rounds are rather costly. MIBR Brazil, they do look lost, but in the end, they get to the site, they get the bomb down, and they do make it costly.
Yeah, that's really what you can do on the T side. You get the bomb down, you hope to win the round, at least make it expensive for the CT side. We're all tied up now, 6 apiece. So Isurus, they can still find a way to get 9. Would be very good for them. I don't think anything less would be viable. So they don't really have any margin for error moving forward throughout the rest of this half. 3 rounds to go. They need 3. MIBR, not exactly on a good buy. They have Tech 9, P250, and AKs. All purchased up. 1 AK, 2 Techs, 2 P2s. 4 smokes, 2 flashbangs, and a little bit of utility used at our yard. Myron going hunting. He does know somebody's coming around. The flash will let him escape. That's a good way to not overextend. He knows they're probably on a weaker buy, so he doesn't want to go give a free rifle over to MIBR. They learned that lesson the hard way. A couple of times, actually, going back to last map. And so Isurus will just play a little more passive. The Molotov will extinguish in the smoke. That is unfortunate. Could have done a good amount of damage. Instead, Myron will have to do the jump spotting. Luchov will drop down. There's the ramp play in play. Myron, 1 big kill. Needs a second, but Turtle has shut him down. Burns it has come through as well. Deco saved Luchov. And now I thought it was 2 enemies meeting each other and towards ramp. It's not. The bomb is down, though. Which means things are a bit difficult for MIBR. The only thing is, damage has been dealt already. You can already call this a win of a round for MIBR.
Done a good amount. They have the op on exit as well. They could save if they really wanted to, but I'd imagine they're keen on hunting. In this dual range, Brendan dances around. I think there's 2 back there behind the silo, if I'm not mistaken. Just dancing back and forth. Is Luchov to take the duel? Damage exchange, but Luchov is quite low. Does get the duel in the end, and deco bails out his teammate, keeps his teammate alive. Will they recover the op? No, they won't. That op is not recoverable. Noxy will get dropped one by deco, but again, expensive round. Made in Brazil, investing a lot of timeouts in this first half. They're really banking on the fact that the CT side will be easygoing as they call their 3rd of 4 available. It is going to be a rifle buy, and they want to steal away the advantage as this first half expires.
That's the goal here. Deny any wiggle room for Isurus. Can they manage it? I mean, MIBR should be heavily favored on this map. That's the thing. It shouldn't be that difficult. But Isurus have found a way to win some rounds. The coach is getting lectured by the admin, as a matter of fact. But Isurus, they still have the op for Noxy. Burnson is limited to a MAC 10. MIBR are going all in on this round when realistically they could have gone for a half buy and then tried to go again around number 15. It's an interesting decision. It's not necessarily an uncalled for decision, it's just a battle of philosophy. And they want to go more aggressive, which does live up to their historical stature. Nade will go deep, will do no damage. And Myron, out from credit card, will spray him away. He won't be able to get anything done, though. Burnson goes out, and he goes down. Noxy with a second. He's waking up. Myron chimes in on the JOTA, pushing through the smoke. Reversive has his back. Henny, the last one standing. A nigh flawless round. Will it be so for Isurus? Only one to find. That is Henny. And they are looking for the 8.5 victory at the very least. 9 rounds. Best case scenario, they're 1 away from achieving it.
Very well done from Isurus. Yup, of Noxy did wake up. That no-scope was the catalyst. It was what's required. I think it was a no-scope on the ladder as well, if I recall correctly.
It was,
so,
yes.
A lot of luck to activate a lot of skill from the
Hey,
op
man,
and
you
the
only hit
IGO.
no-scopes with the op. You can't be calling those luck.
I exclusively go for no-scopes, actually. I often punt my own games going for them. You need the clip. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take after all. Noxy, though, did not miss any shots in that last round. Did not give any opportunity to Made in Brazil. And so it's going to be a rather desperate buy in the final round of the half with Made in Brazil. They're going to go straight out the door, down the vents, in fact, and the Tech-9s will lead the charge. The bomb plant should be coming in rather quickly, but Isurus, if they can make the rotations clean, they should be able to hold this one down. Luchov up close, though, is the first to fall, and that is now worrisome. That begins the snowball effect in favor of Made in Brazil here. And Turtle towards the vents. Behind the smoke, could find even more on the rotation. No, nobody's coming this way. Instead, they're going towards ramp, and they're going towards secret. Turtle, though, if he goes down in a timely fashion, he could find more, or he could play the long con for the flank. Brendan, though, commanding position in towards the control/double door area. This is well played for Made in Brazil. This could work out. Myron's tagged. Brendan 1 and 2. Very well done. And it's just falling apart for Isurus. What could have been a very nice scoreline of 9-6 is now unraveling into a very contentious 7-8. Brendan finds one. Noxy, the op or the IGL, has to choose an angle and he can't find it. It is Made in Brazil to recover in the final round of the first half. We'll see if they can carry that over to the second after a short break.
The 9-6 was so close and yet just out of the grasp of Isurus as MIBR snatch it away with a Tech 9 4-spy that shuts down Isurus, gets a bomb down on the B site, and it was just a snowball effect from there. I'm Boggs, joined by Pineapple Phillips, and this is an elimination matchup here at the IEM Road to Rio Americas. And now it's the T-side time for Isurus, where they historically struggle on this map. MIBR, they should be series, although Exit does take some damage in the early going. Isurus seemed to be trying to force the issue down to B, but no, they're going back up the vents to A. They picked up the Heaven player. Exit was such a good player on map number 1. He's gone down here early. The bomb can go down, and maybe, just maybe, Isurus can find some life.
They find this pistol round. They tie it up. They have a swift and solid advantage going into the second, assuming they convert the pistol. They will be off to the best start they can ask for on this T side. But again, the going is going to be rough. It's going to be touch and go, and in Brazil still aren't out of this round yet. They still have 4 up, 1 in the vents, 3 coming out from many. Time is of the essence, though. And all of Kevlar. There's the first. Brand's in a second, and Reversive now a lot to do behind the vents. He'll try to find one. He does find that, and Deco is second. They still have more to do. Luchov and Deco cap it off. Very well done. Reversive just baiting behind the vents. It's not so that he's taking the duels. It's more so that he's just sticking around and being an ever-present potential threat to draw away the crosshair. Very well done to not overextend there from his corner. And that is a much-needed pistol round win for Isurus.
Yeah, that gives them life. They call attack pause after the back of it, which is a bit of a question mark here, Nate. I don't necessarily... Maybe they're... It seems like the coach is talking to the referee instead of his team, which is interesting. But
seems like it might have been a miscall if that's the case. I'm not 100% sure. I mean,
it's hard to miscall a timeout.
Yeah, the coach isn't really saying anything, and the way that he talked to the admin, and then of course hasn't talked very much since, makes me wonder what's going on. But of course, we can only surmise. We can only guess.
Yep. Maybe they're just saying, be careful of the pistols.
It's not pistols, though. There's a couple, sure. 3/5 of them are pistols. 2 of them are effectively SMGs. One of them, semi-auto rifle, I would call a 5.7 at close range. And the Scout for JOTA and the MP9 for Brenzen.
Yeah, it's a pistol that shoots a rifle around the 5.7.
Exactly. It's not necessarily rifle rounds. Rifle powered. It's speedy. Either way, this play is speedy. Isurus down the vents. 3 getting there with not too much damage taken. This is a solid inside man play for Isurus, and maybe that tactical timeout was intentional. They've got a unique and interesting play. Deco's on the rotation watch. This round has the potential to be a clean one for Isurus as a result.
Yeah, I saw Noxie reading over at his notes, so maybe there was a set piece they wanted to go for. And it could get them double digits here, which would be a huge boost. As a matter of fact, MIBR don't really seem too content to go for anything here, which makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're questioning why MIBR are not going for this, think about it this way. If they go for it and they get a couple of kills but they lose the round, what do they actually gain? Literally nothing. But if they save what they have here, they get 2 rounds for the price of 1. And already they get an exit onto Reversive, so that is nice. But Isurus are going to win the round. MIBR will come into this buy now with a Galil on top of the pistols, on top of the Scout and the MP9. And that's why they don't even want to contest in that 5-on-5. It's a really good call from MIBR, and it sets themselves up to have a much stronger opportunity to strike back here, despite Isurus getting to double digits.
Yeah, Isurus, I think the call there, they bought 4 rifles. The main goal was to keep it clean and flawless. They lost one of them, sure, but keeping 3 up for essentially a bonus now, once again, is rather important. In Brazil, as you mentioned, that Galil, the pistols, the MP9, the Scout. It's a very formidable half by now to go against for Isurus. And what do they have in mind to make this one a victory? That's the question. Exit mollied off the hut to start things off. Luchov again, the inside man. Isurus have done quite well to get into the vents here. They've done it time and time again now, 2 times in a row, and Luchov is going to blindside the MP9 player, and Deco in the meanwhile has dropped 1. Brenzen doesn't even require the flank. He's dismantled by the AK from the back of Red, and now Turtle behind the smokes is just going to try and find a timing in hopes of maybe getting a kill or 2. Made in Brazil. I liked the call to save, as you mentioned, but thus far it is not paying off.
It's not. They've really not found any damage with it, which realistically speaking is this a round they should be winning anyways now. Neither of these 2 rounds is something they should be winning. A couple of kills here and there, it's nice. That's what you're trying to go for. If you win the round, cool. It's great. But you can't really expect to be winning these. MIBR might actually be going for a save again, which would be... That's where things get weird. Because this next round should be where they get all the bells and whistles, all the utility, the rifles, regardless of the result. Luchov, that was the MAC-10 trying to come up the vents. He goes down. Noxie will rotate around as well. Bomb's going to go tick, tick, boom. And Isurus will get up to 11. MIBR yet to put a round on the board. And I am going to call this one into question. I'm going to call this save into question. There is no reason to save here.
You say that. Maybe if they do some fancy footwork with the money, Turtle doesn't have to buy Kevlar, he can drop an op.
True.
I think that's the main play. I think that's the one guiding light here. They have a Galil they can drop over as well to maximize utility. I think that's the one reason that they decided to go for it. And it does give them a slightly better buy. That gives them the op on Henny. It gives them some things they might not have had access to without taking some big risks. So it's a double-edged sword, I would say. I do think they had some legs to stand on in that retake if they went for it rather quickly, but it also could have collapsed. Either way, they're bringing an MP9 into this one as a result, saving some extra cash in the bank for Turtle. Again, very interesting call, to say the least. We'll have to say if it pays off here, as JOTA just spams the door. Just early round pleasantries is the best way to describe this. Utility being exchanged, smokes being thrown, and spams being thrown back and forth as well.
All on top of the second vents. Turtle on top of Hut, though, with the MP9. Could try and shut something down, but no, he goes down first. JOTA on the vent, though. Luchov is demolishing his teammates. Yes, JOTA gets one, but Luchov's done the damage. A second comes through, and this could be messy, but Noxie will spray him through the first vent. Burnson comes up in heaven, and he goes down straight to hell. It's a 12-7 start, and Isurus look alive here on the T side. What is happening to this team? What changed between the first map, the first half of the second map, and now here on the fourth half of this series? They look reborn.
Yeah, the stats were being followed for the most part, right? We're talking about this. The stats did indeed prove to be true for map number 1, but they aren't looking to be right for map number 2, because the T side should be very difficult for Isurus, and the CT side should be very confident for Made in Brazil, but that's clearly not the case here. Isurus looking incredibly dominant thus far. Made in Brazil going for some, I'll call them nuanced calls, especially that last save we talked about, but it has yet to pay off for this defensive side, and now Made in Brazil are definitely feeling the pressure, as you can tell. Tactical pause called. That might even be their last one as well, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot going into this. A lot of implications from around here, and a lot of pressure on it for the likes of Made in Brazil.
They've got the full invest here. The op, the M4s, the FAMAS. At least they do have another map as far as leeway goes. This one's certainly not written off just yet, but it's getting there quite quickly. Isur is only 4 rounds away from taking this one out. Noxie has his op too. Henny goes down the vents with the op. This is a very awkward spot to play with this gun. We did see a no-scope from Noxie in the previous half from the vent ladder, but it's not really something you could really hope to recreate all too often. That's a nice angle from Henny, though, as he pops back up and sits Luchov down, and Squeaky smokes towards from Mini, though, as Isurus looks to work their way outside. Maybe find a kill onto JOTA. No, he's playing around credit cards. He's got Turtle to support him from Mini as well. Those kills are working out for MIBR. And off the back of their own tactical pause, it is working out well for them. No kills to respawn just yet from Isurus either. Noxie has not seen hide nor hair of anybody. And Deco is kind of also in the same boat, playing in lobby, waiting for a push. At this point for Isurus, you almost want to save your op at the very least. Luchov is very broke. Deco can save as well. I don't think we're going to see too much of a contention here from the T side.
Nope, no contest. I don't think 45 seconds left. That was a long time to save these weapons. The CT side might get a little bit hungry. Renzen specifically is only a FAMAS. Might as well go look for a rifle on the ground at the very least. So there's a potential to drop these 2 players. They need to be careful. Noxie going to hold his angle diligently as he should. This is a safe enough angle for the save. And Echo is holding his back line. So, you know what? I would say it's okay, all things considered. But Made in Brazil, finally on the board on their CT side. This could start the sprint, and this could close the window of opportunity for Isurus here. This is where things could really begin to get difficult for this T side. The first round, always the hardest for Made in Brazil.
Yeah, once they can get the ball rolling, they seem to do a lot better. So, see if they can really keep things going. The op is still there. which is something, but it has to get activated. That's the problem with the op on the T side. It takes a bit to get activated into a round, and a lot of times it takes a risk as well. We'll see if Noxie wants to move towards ramp or even take a more aggressive angle out or yard, or perhaps even the squeaky door pop. Luchov might have had a better duel if he was opping instead of on the rifle against Tenny there. So perhaps Noxie will hold up that angle this time and try and take him down. Deco's really been putting in the work for Isurus, though. Noxie's going through the fire out towards red box. Henny looking for another pick. That's a free one onto Luchov again through Squeaky. Same play, same time, same second round, and well, Deco, he does find a trade and breaks the glass. Burnson's going to hear all this noise. I believe he knows he's gone up top.
Doesn't know. It could be down below. He has to hedge his bets. He has to hold both those immediate angles instead. And well, they're 90 degrees from one another, so it's a very difficult spot to hold. Exit will be the one holding above instead. But Deco, as long as he stays alive, he's just an ever-present threat that could be at any number of angles. Meyer spots the player come out the window. That's a big one to find. Brenzen dispatched, and an advantage regained now for Isurus as they will get Heaven control. And in Brazil now, they're going to be fragmented as a result. Player playing in towards the lobby along with Henny. That duo there, and Exit on the back of site. Only place he can really hide here at this stage with the players coming up Heaven, or the threat of players in Heaven. In all actuality, Isurus, they're looking to go towards B, is split towards the ramp from these two, and the other pair with the op of Noxie are looking to go down towards Secret Turtle. He's going to make the read, but he's going to drop, and he's going to be heard. The spam does not connect. The Molotovs force him back, and Isurus now have control of this B bomb site.
Now, do MIBR save here? They have been prone to the save, and Exit going up the ladder does seem to clue in that they are going to save here. They don't want to go for the 3-on-4. They're going to give Isurus a 13th. MIBR are playing this like Inferno. They have decided to make this save simulator. And this one, it's understandable, but the scoreline at the same time, it's now going to stretch this to a 5-round lead. It puts Isurus on 13. It gives them more momentum. Yes, you will have the bye in the next round. But if you lose that,
they're running out of rope. They're running out of rope to hang on to. If they're not careful, they're going to lose their map pick in an even more one-sided fashion than they won their opponents. Keep in mind that first map was very touch and go. It was 16-13 in the end, and really it did feel like more so it was Isurus giving away duels rather than Made in Brazil finding them. In fact, both teams were kind of touch and go. I feel like they both have a lot to learn from this matchup and a lot of things to tighten up. Feels like the hinges need a little bit of grease. There's a little bit of rust here.
Yep.
It's making things all the more difficult.
Outer yard control again from Isurus. They've been very good with their defaults. I think that their map control has really helped them out on this one. Not really the same as we saw on Overpass. In fact, I like their T-side a lot more here on Nuke than I did like their Overpass T-side, which is interestingly enough. I mean, Overpass one of their best maps. This one, not necessarily. But hey, everything changes too when your back's up against the wall and you have no other option but to fight your way through to win. Luchov looking for that opening kill. He's not in Squeaky this time. I think he decided he didn't want to go back again and risk getting shot by Henny one more time, who does still have that op. Meyer looking to clear out Garage. There is nobody lurking that direction. Turtle playing in second vent. And JOTA seems to be the lone defender on B. He's playing down on the lower site. Meyer clearing out everything towards Garage, at least not the close coming, but pretty much everything he can without overextending. The slow-paced round for Isurus, dotting all their I's, crossing all their T's. Noxie really still hasn't done anything with that op because nobody's facing outer yard.
Hands up policy, and it has been exploited more than once. Saw that wrap come in the round prior. So, Isurus, they're not going to play into that as much, as intensely as they did before, but still a player out in that Garage shows some presence, and now some harassing utility is being thrown in over towards A. We have Turtle back behind the old vents, a player on the site. JOTA down the vents is going to have to hear these steps. He's going to have to hold on to this B site. 15 seconds left. It's down to the wire here for Isurus on their take. An exit. He will drop Luchov. That's a big one to find. Reversive has the bomb. He's getting it down, but he doesn't get the plant. He's taken up by JOTA towards the double doors, and that might be the one that does it. JOTA a second. Sure, Noxie will chime in with one towards the lobby, but that's far removed from the situation. Noxie and Meyer forced to save, and again, especially in this matchup, we've seen a lot of rounds hammer around, walk back and forth until it's too little too late. It's undone by one critical kill like this one from JOTA. The second is there for good measure as well. Really ensures the round goes their way. Made in Brazil at long last making their mark here in the second half, but they have to make more than one mark if they want to stand and make the comeback.
It's coming down to it here, Nate. Oh, looks like a full A exec, at least early on, all the utility being used, but no real pressure towards that A side. That's a lot of util to throw just for baiting purposes, I guess. Force some of the utility out of the CT side. Isurus, they do have Luchov down the vents. Okay, this makes more sense. They got the player down the vent. JOTA's going to try and clear it out. But he might just run right into it. Yes, Luchov. He does take a lot of damage, but that's the opening pick. Something the T side desperately needs, and that will throw the defense into chaos. It's very hard to defend when you can have players coming up on your backside from every angle.
This is a good read. They're going into the lobby. They're clearing it out. They're sending Henny down with the op. And they could fast flank around towards the ramp as well and get control there. This is big. Luchov is 1 low HP. Shouldn't be able to get more than one, certainly. In fact, Brenzen, if the timing so favors him, could find the kill. In fact, that nade, if he threw that in, even could get it done. Luchov is so very low. And well, Made in Brazil are set up now to rebuke a take. It has been well read. Turtle, he sees Noxia, so he's going to get that kill onto the Opera. That's a big one. A second for Brenzen. Myron gets the trade, sure, but exits at the ramp, holding the exit, finding one onto Myron. It's Reversive and Luchov's on only 4. Bomb is on Reversive's back, but they have a lot to do and only 30 seconds to do so. They'll plant safe. Smart call. Exit, though. It's going to begin to make his entry. Reversive, he'll spot him. Not the kill, though. Turtle finds the trade with an aid, and Reversive now 1v1. Quick rotation up, flash is exchanged, and Turtle, he'll need to cap it off with a 3K if he wants to win it. Reversive, though, has done some fancy footwork in towards control. Turtle's right it, though, walking into it. It's Reversive from above to find it instead. A good headshot and good crosshair placement do get the round for Isurus, and that is a big one to find. They prevent Made in Brazil from getting 2 in a row, and they potentially reset the economy as well. A massive round for Isurus to find on their opponent's map pick, no less.
So good from Reversive in that scenario, getting Isurus to a 14th. They call attack probably to just fix things up, because that last round they did get hard read pretty well by MIBR, who did everything right except for find the kills at the end of the day. So you can't fault MIBR for that round. In fact, they played that well. But Isurus, just a step above, hitting the shots. Luchov able to get a second kill was massive. And then Reversive with that read, hitting the headshot. It was well read too from MIBR, but just a little bit ahead right now. Just by the nose. Isurus stays ahead. You know what they say though, Nate? A shark has to keep swimming to stay alive. You're the fish guy. That's right, right? Guy.
Yeah, that is right. They are what is it called? It's not filters. Obligate. I forget the term already. I forget the term. That is unfortunate. Same like tuna. It's like ramjet ventilation. Obligate ventilators, yes. I think is the term. They have to keep swimming in order to live.
I believe
and
tuna
they also
are like that as well.
Tuna are. And they only have one natural predator, the orca. And Made in Brazil looking to do their best orca impression. Unfortunately, looks like they're in SeaWorld right now, really struggling. 9-14. The op of Henny trying to be the difference maker. He's had a relatively quiet game thus far, but a resurgence now would be critical. It'd be one of those many factors required to get Made in Brazil back into it. They need to win 7 in a row to prevent overtime, or 6 while only losing 1 to get to overtime. And that's a tall task, even on the CT side. There's just no rope, as I mentioned before, no rope left to hold on to. They need to do it now because their economy is hurting. The op forced out the Molotov. It spread. That is so unfortunate. Myron Holden dutifully finds the opening, and that is a major player to find. JOTA now holding the cross. Doesn't hit the shot a little bit too early on the spray, and I was just trying to make space. He does find one. He does recover a second. Okay, now it gets interesting. It's flipped on its head. The advantage goes from Isurus to Made in Brazil, and they will get away for good measure. Made in Brazil might have found a way to stay alive here.
Burns on the stairs can shut this whole play down. He peeks up, he goes around, he knocks 2 down, and he sprayed Noxie down considerably, finishes him off with a USP for good measure. But it's a measured response from the majority of the MIBR squad, just a little bit of noise being made by him. And that is it right now. MIBR are finding a way to stay alive, but as you've said, the rope is very, very short now. They can't hold on for much. That kill, those 2 really set it up, and then Burns in here. Just look at that. Goes for the confidence play with the USP. Hits the headshot he needs, and it's a forced buy now from Isurus. Tech 9, Deagle, P250, and an AK. And a fast play would have been the call here, but the Molotov will stymie that. They'll be held at bay, and the nade will go forward, do no damage. Burns and take it a little bit, but Henny's rotating in. It's also a broken buy for MIBR. They don't have a lot of residual cash either. It's not a great situation for either side, although for Isurus, if they're able to break the CT economy, what a time to do it. It would be getting them to map point, looking for a date on Dust 2.
Date on Dust 2, that could be very far away, depending on how Maiden Brazil play their cards here. They have rotated around very well, getting the heck out of dodge towards ramp specifically, leaving Henny to hold and make sure no flank is coming down. Bren's at range. He has some deagles and an AK to worry about, but if he can find those, or if he can dance delicately, he might be able to find a lot here. Tagging some, only gets one. Noxie taking down Deco, a good trade that hero AK I mentioned before, and that is now Pandora's box open. 4 versus 4, and Isurus now has some very interesting post-plant positionings ahead of them. Maiden Brazil have to do this. This would be a monstrous blow to their economy. And JOTA, on the spam, isn't able to find anything. 3 players grouped up. Someone needs to watch the flank or it could unravel in the blink of an eye. JOTA taking point, spots one, doesn't get the kill. Reversive instead finds a reversive, a second through the smoke, and Henny, he will clap back with one, but they need more than just one. Turtle also needs to make his presence heard. Henny finds a second before falling. Luchop finds that trade, and Turtle now 1v2, time ticking away, and these players have solid post points. He taps the bomb, tries to draw them out, but they're not peeking so eagerly. One for Turtle, not the second. He has to take the fight, but no, the bomb's going to go off. He's trying to save, and he can't even do that. It's Myron with the P250 to find the final kill. He might have gone down with the bomb. I'm not so certain on that, but it is a victory nonetheless. It doesn't matter. It's a victory. Sure, they're going to have to invest. It's going to be belabored by, but it's going to be equally beleaguered for the likes of Maiden Brazil, and Maiden Brazil are the ones facing off against the potential map 3 now.
Did he stay alive? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Who was it? Was it Myron? Yeah,
he's
an M4.
Myron, yeah.
He's an M4.
Yeah. I think he did then, yeah. He sprays a whoa to exit with one blind through the smoke on a reversive. That was just the MAC-10. Still, it's staying alive time for MIBR. Exit with the smoke spam finds 2. JOTA onto Myron. And Isurus are collapsing again. MIBR trying to stay alive here. They need 5 in a row to take this one to overtime. And boy, have we seen overtime today, Nate. We had double overtime on map 2 of the first series, single overtime on map 1, and a 16-12 final, which was taken by Nouns over Oplano. And now we have Isurus trying to not go to overtime here against MIBR, trying to win this one in regulation and go to map 3 after losing their own pick of overpass. Deco and Luchov primed to save here, but there's so much time on the clock. At this point, economic damage would be a good idea for Isurus. Get a couple of kills, maybe 3. You have some rounds to play with now. You can wiggle a couple out of this. Just do a little bit of damage.
Again, the pressure on Maiden Brazil is immense because it's one wacky strategy. You can call a timeout. You can call something totally weird that is unexpected, and it will pay off for one round. It will never pay off ever again. But it doesn't matter. It's like playing a one-and-done angle in a 2 versus 1. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the 1 versus 1. It's going to be something kooky. It's going to be something random, but it's going to work for the 1, and that's all you need. So Isurus, sure, they're saving now, but they are going to have something interesting planned. I'm certain of it for the following. And again, that random thing could be what pushes them over the line and sends them to Dust 2.
We'll save the guns. No real hunt from MIBR, understandably so, as they are pretty broke. That's why it would be really good to see if the kills came through for Isurus, but they decide to hold the line instead. Play a little more passively. Let's watch this again from exit, though. Such a really good job of doing the damage, and the second spray even better. That pretty much puts the whole round on board for them as well. So, really good stuff individually from him. He was the star on Overpass. Had a bit more of a quiet map here. Meanwhile, it's Burns in at the top of the scoreboard. But that's a big impact double. And nade damage taken heavily by Myron. It's a force up with the saved guns, a P250, a Tech 9, and the Galil. Just down to half HP, which might get tossed back over to Noxty or Reversive.
I want to let you know as well. Oh, that's a nice little triple nade stack.
That's a great stack.
Unique. There's something different that might not be expected, but could net something big. I also want to highlight on the other stream, we do have Team 1 taking it to map 3 versus Imperial in overtime, 1916 on Inferno. So that's another very exciting matchup as well. And we might be on a fast track to map 3 as well if Isurus can pull one out of the hat in the next 4.
Or overtime.
Even overtime, yeah, I guess. No matter what, made a result win 4, sure, we go to overtime. Plus 2, and while made a result still seem favored on that map, and so the sky's the limit at this point for Isurus. They're exceeding my expectations for certain at this stage.
We'll definitely need an Opping show on Dust 2 if we do go that way, because Henny Unleashed is a scary prospect for Isurus. Timing. JOTA spots the shadow. He spots the bomb as well. Bernson's come through to support. Reversive goes down. Noxie and Lucha with something they can maybe do, possibly. Not really likely. All down to Noxie now to 10 HP. And Burnson will put him down, spamming from behind.
Timing off by milliseconds there. Timing off by milliseconds.
Yep.
A little bit quicker on the corner, walked up to it and then sprinted around it. Could be an entirely different round. Could be something so different. It's not. You can only make conjecture. It's rifles across the board. Good utility now as well for Made in Brazil. They have equalized on their economy. And again, there's no reason to save at this stage. They have to full invest no matter what. They'll keep a little bit of the bank in case they lose some players. They'll be able to fully reinvest, and so that's no issue. Isurus, on the other side, they now have to capitulate. They have to go for the full save. It's blocks across the board. In fact, not $1 invested. And they might even find a kill for their troubles. I say that, but it goes down to 30. He's taken down Henny. The cavalry's arrived. It's just reversive. Glock up top, Marshmallow. Truly a dream, a pipe dream, and JOTA takes him down with, honestly, the better of the two pistols. The USP definitely outclasses the Glock, especially at that range. And so, quick work of that one, 13-15, and Made in Brazil looking to pull off the dream. Only 2 away now.
Nate, I feel like it would have been much more controversial if you would have said the Glock was the better of the two pistols.
The Glock has a moment to shine, okay?
Yes.
Inferno.
Close-range duels,
Probably
it is
Inferno. Good. Yeah. Not so much there. In fact, the opposite of that. That would probably even require 3 headshots.
I believe it would.
Without a helmet even. Like, a ridiculous amount of headshots. And the USP also, even at that range, does struggle. I've had dinks on Dust 2 that don't get the kill. So, I'm surprised the USP got it done there in the end. Either way, that round is behind us, and it's also a brief blip. You really couldn't expect much from Isurus. No expectations there, and we do have expectations here. It's rifles across the board. A little bit bare bones on the utility, but it is enough to get the job done. Not if that happens, though. Brenson pressuring up, down towards Secret, finds 1, finds 2, finds the bomb and a Molotov over it for good measure. Isurus will try to get control of the rest of the yard in the meanwhile, but they're in a hefty disadvantage now. All 3 players here. They do have the bomb, sure. They can begin to rotate around if they so wish. But in Brazil, it feels like they have done enough here. It feels like they have done enough for a 14th.
There still is the chance, unless Isurus want to save, which would be rather infuriating, to be honest with you. Nice push from JOTA. Henny holding the line as well. Noxie runs across the screen, gets nothing besides death from Turtle. Deco lurking around. It's going to be 15-14, and the buy for Isurus is going to be less than admirable. It's going to be Tech 9's, it's going to be Mac 10's, MIBR 1 round away from bringing this all the way back to overtime. And it comes with rather clean rounds, and this is the problem when you concede on a save. I feel like MIBR got into that mindset early on their CT side too. It puts you in a different mindset than if you're still fighting for it when you don't necessarily have to save. And Isurus, they look tepid. They look scared.
Yeah, I want to say right now, do something they did at the start of the game that found tremendous success on this T side. Down the vents, aggressive, quick. They found great success doing that. They've done it multiple times, but getting 2 or 3 down there like they did in the pistol round specifically and other rounds would be a huge play. But they're not going for it. They're not going for it. They're going to let the spam take its course. They're going to slow things down and sit in the lobby. And the lobby sits are what take away the time, and that's what made both Made in Brazil and Isurus neglect the clock. So they have to be very cognizant of that fact here. And out they'll come. It'll be a rather quick play down the vents. Okay, a delayed play down the vents, but a play down the vents nonetheless. You love to see it. Myron as well sticking around behind. JOTA has to do his due diligence to clear it. He will try to spam. Myron, though, in the smoke is just staying alive. That's what's most important. JOTA hears the steps in the end, but it doesn't matter. The bomb goes down, and now it's a retake for Made in Brazil. They'll find the first, but the Isurus team is so spread out that it's going to be an awkward one. Luchov finds one collapsing into the ramp, and now things Luchov are as well. This could go either direction. It is the rifles in favor of mid and Brazil, but don't count Isurus out here. Turtle clearing the angle, low on HP. He'll lose the duel. It's reversive to take that, and Isurus might have found the winning recipe on round number 30. JOTA dropping down on the site. Time is of the essence, and Isurus, they're just biding their time. JOTA finds one, not the second. Myron finds the trade and reverses the final. It's 16-14 for Isurus. Boggs.
That's a close 16-14. One Isurus escape with the victory on, but they do get revenge against MIBR. 16-13 map 1, 16-14 map 2. Each team taking their opponent's map pick. And with Dust 2, an ultimate coin flip map left as map 3, after we return, it is going to get crazy.